Okay, so good evening. We're going to work with, tonight we're going to work with bands, long bands and a loop band. I thought that might be, we don't usually use the loop band very much, so it just adds a bit more intensity, which you're welcome to use. You don't have to, obviously. Everything can be done without them. So yeah, long band, loop band and small weights, small dumbbells, if you would like. I'm going to bring, now we've got too much choice. Yeah, we'll see. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with those yet. Okay, so we'll get started. Let's work on, let's just take the feet are about hip width apart, maybe a little bit wider. We're going to lift those knees. Excuse me. And then what we're going to do is just take the arms, the elbows up, and we're just going to take them out. So like little punches or little flicks. Let's do a flick. Bit of coordination going on here. And then we're going to circle, keeping the legs going, keeping the knees lifting. And then we'll take that circle the other way. So yeah, lots of things going on here. I've not done this one before. And then just take the elbows down and then just bring the arms out to the side. And then we're going to take a breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And then again, and out. Good, okay, we're keeping those legs going, starting to raise the heart rate. And now we're just going to, let's just slow it down and bring the knee up and opposite arm. So what I can feel is my abdominals are starting to engage. Now if you want to, what you could do is you could bring the weights straight in. So if you want to take your weights, we're doing the same thing. So you're going to start to bend the knees a little bit, not too much, and just bring those weights in and raise the heart rate. Yeah, I can feel the abs working as well. This is all off the cuff. I never know what I'm going to do. Like I said, it depends on what comes to my head. Okay, so then we're going to bring it back into just a heel lift. Bring the arms down. Then we're going to, well, we can do it all with weights actually. So we're going to take the arms out in front. You can keep the weights or take them out, take them away, and then just squeezing back. I can feel that because these weights are a little bit heavier. What are these? These are 1 kilogram. Probably you could get away with half a kilogram quite easily. So you can feel that also in the shoulders. Okay, so last one, and bring them forwards and bring them down. Okay, and we're just lifting those heels again. And then what we do is we're going to take one arm forwards and the other one back. So actually you could take the feet wide, couldn't you? Reasonably wide, and then stretch. That's it. So one goes all the way back, so you've got a nice stretch backwards. So this is all kind of shoulder work. A little bit in the waist as well. And raising the heart rate as well. I think we'll do last two, And bring those arms down. Now let's take the weights away for a little bit. It's just a little bit of extra at the beginning. And then we're going to bring the hands together. Stretch the fingers. And then lifting up out to the side. And forwards. And stretch. Up. And around. We're going to do one more. So this time we're going to stretch the fingers. As we come up, see if we can lift the heels, and then coming back down. And now we're going to lift and lower the heels. If you want to, you could bring the arms up, so you can take it a bit more slowly. It's quite a bit of control on that lift. Oop, and last one. Okay. So, just roll each shoulder, and then we're going to take the hands behind your head, and we're just going to squeeze in towards the palms of your hand. Just feel that heat coming into the neck area. And then just release and bring the arms down. Then we're going to take the feet about, actually quite wide, a bit wider than shoulder width. And then we're going to just push the bottom back a bit. So now what we're looking for is, as we bring the back down, we want a really good stretch into the hamstrings. So we're not going into like a squat. It's a stretch, so the knees are slightly bent. Okay, and then we're just bringing the arms up and back. And when you come up, you're going to push the bottom further away, and then you're going to just release it off slightly. And stretch. So feel the hamstrings stretch. Now we're pulling in through the abdominals, so the back's not going to arch. And you could feel quite a strong stretch into the back. Okay. And then just bring the arms down, come up slowly, and just walk it out. It's a good stretch for that lower back. Then we're going to take the head over to one side and just add a bit more of a stretch. And we're going to release it and take it over to the other side. And release. Good, okay. Rolling shoulders. Then we're going to take the legs out quite wide, and I'm going to go just into some small squats to begin with. So we're keeping the knees squeezed outwards. Going a little bit deeper. Now we're going to bring it down. We're going to just little pulses, pushing into your bottom and to your heels, so you can wiggle the toes. And just gently coming back up, and just walk it out for a second. thought something. What was I going to do? What was I going to do? Right. Oh yes. Yeah. I'm going to bring. So what we're going to do, we're just going to, what we do first is we're going to do our knee lift and then stretch. So bring in the arms. So if you want, you can use if you want to use your weights. So it's just adding a bit more for the upper body for the arms. Lift in, stretch. But what we're doing is we're contracting into your tummy, into your abs. Especially as you bring the knee up. And then what I'd like you to do is when you bring that leg back down, let's do it on the next one. Bring it down, bring that leg back, and then we're just going to let the knee just come down towards the mat and then lift. Slowly. So we're going to feel that in the front of the thighs, also hopefully not the knees. Last one. And then stretch back into the heel. So you're getting stretch into the calf muscles. And then bring that leg forward. And then we'll take, actually I'll stay facing it so I can see you. Then we're going to change it to the other side. So knee lift and just a little step back. So we're not going into a lunge, but we're just doing that step backwards. Again, it's just helping to raise the heart rate, which is great. Bit of cardiovascular work, as well as toning. So on the next one, again, we'll take that leg back, bend the knee, and just a lift and lower. So it's kind of like a back, quite a back lunge. Trying to stay stable. Okay, last one, and then we're just going to push the heel down if you can to stretch the calf muscles, and then lift it up. Ooh, bring the legs together. Right, so a little bit more upper body. So we're just bringing the arms together, elbows together, and we're taking them out to the side and back in. So just keep with that. Okay, so when we bring them out, hold that, and then from that position we're going to lift and bring it down just slightly. Last one. Bring those elbows down. And just let the arms hang down and just roll each shoulder for a couple of times. Okay, let's put the weights back down and circle the ankle. And then change direction. Just keep doing that, and then I'll get you to change to the other side. Just want to put that down a bit. And change direction. then what we're going to do, the reason I've moved the camera is we're going to stand on the edge of your mat. So at the moment I've kept my yoga one just because there's a little bit better grip. So we're going to go into, I'm going to do some push-ups, and I say we're going to do push-ups, I'm probably going to do, yeah, we might do a variation. So what we're going to do, we're going to bend the knees slightly and just push the bottom behind, then coming down, so without putting too much pressure on your back, keeping that back quite flat. You're coming down, you're going to bring the knees down as well, because we're not doing any mad push-ups. Taking the weight out, I take mine quite wide, keeping that, pulling in the tummy and coming down and up. See if you could do 3. And then coming back up. So knees are bent, and you're going to just pull up slowly and roll it shoulder, and we're going to go down. We're going to do that 2 more times, and you can do this in your own time. So push the bottom behind. See, my back's nice and flat. I'm not rounding it off, not putting it under the vertebrae under pressure. Making sure I feel comfortable and you feel comfortable with how you're doing the push-up. So lean forward, and then I did that wrong then. Okay, just keep going in your own time. Abdominals are quite engaged all the time. We've got 1 more to do. Push that bottom behind you. Get this stretch into your hamstrings. Come forwards. Right, okay. So the next thing is we're going to go back down, but we're going to stay in a kind of a full plank position. So we're in full plank like this, and then we're going to push back a bit, bend the knees and push the bottom behind you. So, I mean, some people can do it with the straight legs, but we're trying to push the bottom behind us and down, you know, you've got your downward dog and your upward dog. And then just come forwards again. If you need to bring the knees down, you can do. And we'll just do that 1 more time. So I just want to have a look at how people are getting on. So you're taking the legs back up, you're pushing the hands towards the legs, but I'm going to bend my knees because I haven't got the flexibility. Pushing right down into my shoulders. I'm just having a quick look if anybody's able to that. So you're pushing backwards and then coming back down. It's a hard one to do without me being there in the room, because what happens is, and I do it myself, is the back still stays a bit rounded. So see, if you try and do it with straight legs, you just can't, yeah. So you've really got to push and push downwards into the shoulders, but it's quite a hard move, so I thought it was worth a little bit of a stretch. It's a good stretch for the backs of the legs as well. So let's just come down and just have a nice stretch, a shell stretch. It's a good stretch for the shoulders, just relax there. And then coming up into some sort of seated position. So I'm just going to adjust the camera a bit more. I probably don't need to actually, but I'm going to put my extra mat down. Whew. That's quite a warm up, isn't it? It feels like we've done something, which is good. Nothing wrong with that. Once you feel like you've done something. So just adjust these cameras a little bit more. And then if you bring down all your apparatus, actually I'm not going to, oh no, I will bring one weight down for later. And blocks, no, you forgot my blocks. Right, so all fours position first. And again, of course, you can use our blocks in that position as well. Up there, that's good. So after everything that we've just done, I think it'd be quite nice to do a bit of a cat-cow stretch. So we're going to push that bottom behind. And then so really feel the abdominals pulling up, lifting, so you're rounding the back off and let the head drop. And then just reversing it all the way, lifting the head slightly. And then rounding off again. Now we're going to come into our neutral position. So now you've got a little bit of contraction going into the abdominals, and we're just going to go into our shoulder blade dip. So we're keeping the elbows straight and all the work's happening in the shoulder blades. That's it, keeping the back flat. Yeah, watch those wrists. And then just taking the weight off. Okay. So back into position. Now we're just going to just straighten the one leg out, and we're going to lift and lower. So before we do that, let's pull in through the abdominals, and that you won't be able to go so high. It will help with your back. Stop the back from being put into an overarched position. I'm going to lift that leg, and we're just going to pulse. So it's just squeezing into your bottom now. And then we're going to bend the knee, and we're going to squeeze a bit more. Really work those glute muscles. And then bring the knee in. Stretch back now for a second. I like that, that was good. And coming back up. So we're going to stretch the other leg out. We're just going to lift and lower. And then we're going to add just that lift, keeping the legs straight at this point. And then we're going to bend the knee, just get that extra bit of glute work. Really think about what you're doing, what area you're targeting. And now we get ready to come down and take the knees out and just take the palms that are facing upwards, just to give the wrists a rest. Put the head down if you can. Have a little rest. Could just stay here now. Okay. And then I think we could do the side one. This is the one where you just take the hands to the eyebrow, and we just stretch and we come back in with the elbow towards the other elbow, and then stretch. It's a nice little side, bit of work for the side. Just do 5 of those in total, and then change over to the other side. And once you've completed 5 on each side, just come back down into your shell stretch. And then once you're in your shell stretch, take it over to the left side, stretching that right arm away a little bit more. And then back into the middle, over to the other side. And back into the middle. And come up. Excellent. So just come into seated position. So we'll just work on our leg lift first. So just leaning back. And we're going to squeeze, then lift. So really sort of squeezing, getting a bit of tension into the leg. And then flex the feet and have a go, just doing that. It's harder to tense it as well, isn't it? So just one more on each side. Then we're going to, if you can, take the fingers so they're facing towards your bottom, or onto blocks if you want. You're going to bend the knees, and we're just going to have a go. So before we try and lift the bottom, pull in through the abdominals, and you're just going to do a little lift first and come back down. So very little, just a little, and you can put the hands out to the side a little bit, do whatever feels comfortable for you. And then what you're doing is, as you're lifting, think about abdominals contracting. So think about navel towards the spine, because as we come up a bit higher, we don't want all the tummy to hang out. We want to pull it in and squeeze your bottom. It should sort of happen naturally, she says. So if you want to go up to another level from this, you could come into a lifted position, and you can lift a leg and lift a leg, then squeeze and then come back down. So it's a bit like doing a shoulder bridge in a way. So we'll just do that one more time if you can. Yeah, because wrists are going to get sore. We've done a lot of wrists, so that's our last wrists now. So feel free just to come forwards, give them a bit of a shake, a bit of a rub, sometimes that's quite good. Good. Then we're going to come onto our knees. And we'll have our band ready. So, first of all, band's just down on the floor. We'll just start with the thumbs thumbs in the middle of the chest, and then roll the shoulders down, pulling in through the abdominals, so effectively the hips are coming forward slightly, and we're just going to do our waist twist, so to wherever you feel comfortable. Okay, bring it into the middle, and then just take the arms down. We're going to take the long band and just take it to the back and stretching out, pulling in through the abdominals, and again we're going to go into our twist, back into the middle, over to the other side. Looking at where you're going. And then coming back into the middle, bring the arms in. Feel free to roll the shoulders or whatever helps you just sort of relax the shoulders off. And then we'll just put the long band to the side. And then we'll come down onto our backs. Okay. So, if you want your dumbbells by your side, that's fine. We'll be using those shortly. So we could use them for this first one. We'll start with a stretch, and then come back in again. And then just finish off there. And again, if you want to use your weights, you can do. We're going to do dead bug next. So we're bringing both arms up, and then we're going to stretch and bring it back in, and then change over. In that neutral spine position, and after this one we'll bring it up into our tabletop position. Back is now imprinted, and then stretch. So much more of a challenge. Especially when you stretch away. last two now. Shaking when I stretch. And then bring the knees into your chest. Feel the release and the relief. And then keep the knees together, and you're going to go straight out into your double leg stretch. Lift it if you want. Last one. And just bring the head down, bring the knees into your chest. And then what we're going to do, we're going to do single leg stretch, but in this position instead. So one leg's in your tabletop, then we're lifting the other leg, and we're going to change it from side to side. We'll be doing this with the loop band. I've just realised we haven't used the loop band yet. So you can come up to lifted for this one. You cannot really feel it. And then bring these into your chest. And then we're going to look for our loop band. So we actually only want it around the feet. So if you can stay where you are and put it around, if not, come up to seated and just get yourselves ready, that's fine. So once you've done that, we're going to come back into tabletop, and then now we're going to push away and return. But when we're doing this, we're keeping the back slightly imprinted. We're not lifting the back. So we're breathing out as we stretch away. Just wondering if you could do it with the lifted. I think you can do it lifted, but I think it's probably better to stay with the head down. Can you feel you can really feel that in your back as well, which we don't want to feel it too much in our back. Last one. And then bring the knees in. So we're going to keep the band, we're going to bring it round our thighs. Okay, so not too close to the knees. We're going to keep the knees and the feet together roughly, and we're just going to just take the knees out to the side, bring them back in. But as you do it, think about, I do a little lift off my bottom and then I pull up slightly as we come out. A little lift and then relax. So we can feel the glutes squeezing a little bit as well. And then just bring the knees in together. Just readjust, and then we're going to take one knee out to the side and bring it back in. So we're now sort of working a bit more into the inner thigh area, the adductors. Last one on this side. Relax for a second and then take it out to the other side. Last one. Okay, and now we're going to just bring the feet into our sort of hip width apart, feet flat on the floor. And we're just going to do a little lift into a bridge position. Open the knees out, bring them back, squeeze the bottom, and then roll back down. Put blocks away if you want to. So squeeze and lift, outwards, back in, roll back down. Squeeze the glutes, out and in, and roll back through. Last one, squeeze up, take out, and just see if you can do very small pulses, but by squeezing into your bottom. Probably looks very funny. And then bring the knees back in, roll back down through your vertebrae, and just stretch the legs away. And sort of like point and flex the feet. And then the knees. Okay. We can take the band off. Good. Then we're going to take the legs up, sorry, and we're going to lift into our reverse curl. Last one, and then bring the knees in, straight into single leg stretch. So we get a bit of a stretch into the hip flexors as well. Keep going with that. Last one. Then bring both knees into your chest and then roll up into seated position. Excellent. Okay, so onto your side now. We're going to use our weight for this. So this will be upper body to begin with, and then I might do a little bit of lower body. So I've got both my blocks. We're going to do work on the rotator cuff. So taking the weight, head down, the knees are in a clam position. So we're going to keep that elbow in and squeeze and lift. Always keeping the elbow into your waist. And last one. I'm going to put my weight down, but you can keep your weight, both hands together now, keeping the hips where they are, and just taking that arm behind for your open book. We've got one more. And then we're going to change position of your arm. We're going to stretch the top leg away, and we're going to really lift, a little lift under the waist. And you're going to flex your foot, point it down slightly and take it back. And then we're going to lift and lower. I'm going to hold that lift and just see if we can get some pulses out of here. Just to work that a little bit harder to get more bang for your buck, as they say. And then look, just gently bring it down. Take it forwards, little pat, and then stretch on up into seated position. And we're going to change that over to the other side. So upper body first. So elbow into your waist. And squeeze and lift. So always keeping the elbow into your That's it. That looks good. After this one, we'll straighten the arms with or without the weight and go into our open book. Last one. And then we'll change position slightly. So stretching the arm. We're going to stretch that leg. We're going to flex the foot. I'm going to lift it, and then we're going to lift and lower. So we're pointing the foot down if we can, just so you get a bit more work into your glute medius muscle rather than here, which your hip flexors. And then now we're going to lift and squeeze. Okay, bring that leg down. And then just stretch the legs away and just come onto your front. Bring the arms out in front of you. We're just going to point, flex and straighten. Last one coming up. stretch for the lower back. We'll do stretch the arms down or dart, lifting up through the abdominals, squeezing the shoulders down your back, lifting the legs if you want to. It depends on how you feel really. And hold it for 5 to 10 seconds. Depending on how, again, it's all about how you feel from the exercise, how you want to progress it. You could do some arm lifts if you want to. We've got one more. And release. And just bring the arms down by your side so we can lift the body up. We're going to go back into that shell stretch with the knees out to the side. Really try and take the arms, the hands forwards to get that better stretch in the shoulders as well. Come up slowly and see, we could just do that little stretch. So we're just going to come forward slightly. Put those there. And as you come forward, you can just feel that stretch down into your thighs, into your bottom. And just relax into it. Deep breath in through the nose, breathing out. Just let that stretch develop. And then just slowly come up. And stretch into the back so you've got a nice elongated back. And then just roll each shoulder. And then take the arms out to the side. Take a breath in. And out. And in again. And out. Lovely. Thank you very much. See if I can get up without touching the ground. I can't do it with my legs crossed, but I can do it.